Right then, let's rock and roll. Next recording on a live consultation. We've got Adam Murphy in, who's an absolute fucking legend. So same process as normal. Let me just explain what I've been doing on here. So if I open up my desktop, can you see the right screen here? Yep.
Yeah.
So what we basically got is we've got an overview discovery. So processed all of this, associated to the deep discovery, and then
Mhm.
isolated like the top 10 problems which will break through kind of one by one. So there is going to be like a nice little system that can obviously go to it. As a little bit of insight, it's important to know this. So obviously the recent adjustment to like the niche and the offer and everything that you've obviously been doing recently and the reasons for doing that, and also for you and people to understand like the benefit of it, but also understanding of what it takes to obviously cement that as a start point. So I just want to basically start on there. So like,
Yeah.
what was the previous offer and niche, and then how you've now adjusted that recently?
Okay, so I think naturally I fell into kind of the mum niche, the middle-aged women, pre-peri, post-menopausal, absolute head fuck of a niche, really. But I just
Yeah.
naturally fell into it, and it's something I've always been comfortable kind of training people like that. I've just found that over the past few years, I've found it more and more difficult to keep these clients kind of engaged and also prioritizing the kind of the just prioritizing the whole kind of journey. I think I'm with a niche that is very temperamental on, especially the financial investment that they make within this. They have a lot of pressure, usually from people at home. If it's not quite working out, it's usually pressure from their partners to kind of ditch it and kind of try something new or just ditch it in general. I just find it, I'm just becoming increasingly frustrated with the niche that I'm working with to kind of scale and grow the business. And I want to be charging what I should be worth, and I feel like I can't right now because my
Well, how long has it been since you've adjusted into this now? And
5 years,
now,
it's always been the same niche since I went online 5 years ago.
oh, is it? So then, what's the strategy at the moment in terms of how you're pivoting away from that? So I've just read, obviously, ambitious women looking at like, this is more of like moving from pre and post menopausal into like the ambitious physique mindset element side of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm still going to fall into the kind of menopausal kind of, nutcases. They're still going to be in this, but more women who are generally more ambitious in life as a whole. Um, yeah, I'm hoping because I have got a handful of these clients in my program already that came through, and I really enjoy, coaching these people. I get the most from them. They're more willing to kind of consistently go at it. The more robust mentally. Um, and yeah, I've got like a handful of kind of what you'd call a kind of avatar that I want to continuously work with.
And to be fair, at that client event the other day, you hit a really good key point, and that was when you basically did outreach to the female celebrities.
Mm.
That's something that I look for now. So like, I did I've got a couple of new clients at the moment, and they left the mentorship, and it was like we left because we're just getting told the same advice. It was sending more DMs, spending more money on ads, and when I did the event in Birmingham, I kind of spoke about this because I saw that in 2025, like the normal acquisition efforts that have worked previously won't now. So people are looking at like 1 to 3% response rate, or they're looking at going right, start spending 30% of the revenue on ads, which is just
Mm.
fucking crazy. So like looking at like different angles and opportunities that you can go through with like your celebrity endorsements with your type of stuff there. And I know that you said that you had success with that before, and that's the first thing I said the other day. I was like, well, I'd be doing that. I'd be
I
trying
should
your
lean into
outreach.
that, yeah. At the
Uh,
time as well, I'd say how I was doing it was even more difficult because I didn't have an online program at that stage. So these celebrities were actually traveling an hour and a half to come and train with me.
yeah, I know what you mean, mate.
So I think outreaching definitely for more influential people would be I mean it's a difficult one because obviously you got to throw some serious fucking numbers out there to get response because a lot of your messages will go into their other folder and a lot of them don't manage their own pages. But some do go through and you're quite, it's surprising how many people you do get through to if you throw the numbers out.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Right. So one thing I want to basically look at it. So the 10 problems that we've extracted are reliability of way to get leads, a sales routine, avoiding doing outreach, spending too much time supporting clients reactively, happy clients aren't helping grow the business, offer is good but not urgent, doing too many jobs yourself, building a lot in the background, but you're just not getting through to that activation of it, simple tracking structures, and then basically well, it's like scarcity based decision making. So that's basically an articulation of the overview and that there.
Yeah.
So the first question that, because we'll keep coming back to adding more onto here, because I think that the identity that you put into your brand pillars is really, 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 really fucking important. All right. The rationale for that is your missus part of the coaching team together, or
Not really. She just runs the live workouts that we stream
yeah,
for people who want to home train. She spends a bit of time engaging, but obviously she runs our clothing business, so she's busier than I am at the right now. I
yeah.
did have a really good success coach who was an ex-bodybuilder. She's ex-CID and Met Police. She's very kind of influential. Unfortunately, I set her up to get involved with the program for no 2 months ago. She was going to play a pivotal role in it, pay her a salary, and then the day before she was meant to start on the Monday, her ex-fella tried to murder her.
Oh fucking hell.
So very inconvenient for me.
That's fucking hell.
Yeah, I know. Done the with
That's
it. Honestly,
that,
we designed the whole timetable, the whole program around her joining, and we had a call on the Saturday, and then literally 3 hours later, the guy was at her door, fucking strangling her to death.
that is fucking wild. So before we come into the reliability of getting leads, what we can,
Mm,
because I'll be producing loads of different things onto here in a minute. So like I always look at like surface level stuff first. So that is like identity, messaging, the hooks, the call to actions, and everything. So we've obviously got you who you're working with females, but when I land onto this page, I want to be like, is this got an identity? Is it showing stuff where so like for example that one there that jumps out at me because as a mum it's like oh kids, or,
mm,
for example, as a mum, it's like relationship. As a mum, it's like missus. So, one thing that I try to explain to people is like, look, I've not got the biggest social media page ever known to man. But what you'll see is like when you go onto that, you'll know what my identity is straight away. You know what I do, what I'm about. I'm a dad. I like boxing. I like going out for walks. And we spoke about this quite a lot last time. So I think that looking at just the creative of what you are actually capturing is going to be a really important fit. So like that one there is a fucking brilliant one. So like you've got you and your missus on that one there. Or even just looking at like stories where you're associating your relationship and stuff to it. So like
mm.
we spoke about this heavily last time. I've actually just got off a call with one of my clients as well, where there's nothing wrong in his business. It's the fact that he weren't managing his business alongside his relationship and his family. So I think looking at, I'll basically pull through a load of different creative ideas that we can come through. But like, I think that from an image and video perspective is just starting to think about, right, what are we actually showcasing to these women where they're like, oh, this guy is actually approachable. That's what I'm
Yeah.
basically looking for in
You know
there.
what? As you said that then and went onto my page, that makes complete sense. I need to lean on to the fact a bit more that I do work with women. I've got a woman that lives in my house that I don't seem to showcase enough. And also that actual my son is probably one of the biggest parts of my life that I go in it, I dip in and out of showing that stuff for some reason.
Yeah, it's important because it's like we want people to be even before they read a hook or read a message or read everything. We want to be like, oh, this I can relate to this guy. When you've got a female working with females, it's a lot easier because they can naturally be relatable to it. But whereas when you're doing it, you need to really think about what do I have going off in my life where I can show that coming through,
Mm.
and that's going to come through like just basically showing what you're doing on a day-to-day basis.
You know what? We put a fucking. This is what drives me mad about social media sometimes. Spend all this time scripting and fucking editing, and then me and my missus done one the other day where it was just a camera facing our kitchen as we were getting ready for our day ahead. She was packing his lunch. I was making a protein shake, and I put a banana in my shake, and I stuck the banana up her ass just as a bit of a joke. I forgot we were filming, and it literally got like 30,000 views, like the most viewed
Yeah.
thing. And it's just like, fuck me, I just need to stop overthinking this and just show us as a couple because we're both weird and people like weird.
Yeah, I like that. Relationship dynamics, father and kids, missus behaviors dynamics, store relationship. Like what you said to me about like how you two now basically have like a set. What's that card game that you've got?
So it's basically, yeah, it's just a relationship, like it's a date night booklet. It's like tonight we drawn the card this morning, so it's a bake-off challenge tonight. And we did like an art class the other day, and we're putting this a bit on the stories and that, but again, need to lean into that more now.
You can see how what I mean. So like even within 2 minutes now, we're starting to shape loads of. So that one there, that could be a designated post every single week because you're doing it, and it's like rather than thinking, "Fucking all right, I'm gonna jump onto camera and just do the same stuff over and over and over again. You start to have these different things because, like, for
Yeah.
me, obviously, you're targeting women, but women are normally a lot more self-conscious about a relationship and connection than men. So, like, I'm very operational. So, like, I'm saying to Stacey, we need to book in holidays and weekends away and trips and that. Whereas Stacey's more like, but what are we doing on a week to week basis that maintains our relationship? It's not just about having an holiday to look forward to. But this, what we've got to look for here is like when we're shaping this identity, it's like there's some really cool concepts that you can be running. So like as one post every single week, it's almost doing what you're doing with these date nights. Because as soon as you said that to me, I was like, well, what type of stuff are you doing? Like, it sounds really interesting. And like just basically shaping that identity where almost like yeah, you're not a woman and you can't relate to a woman completely, but you can relate to a lot of the shit that they're going to be concerned about. So making time for the kids, making time for the relationship, doing fun stuff together, and it's that type of stuff what brings through that trust and relatability. Because when someone's saying, right, I don't have a reliable way to get leads, the first thing that I'm going to be looking for is why would someone trust you? Why would someone feel relatable to you? And what is it that you're doing, which is going to, because yeah, we've got obvious stuff, which is going to be lead magnets, a monthly live webinar concept, email marketing. But I focus more now on, right, how can I create as much positive impression on a day-to-day basis with my audience more than how can I just pull off a random stunt that's hopefully going to get leads. And if you look at like Google's law at the moment, where it's like, 11 touch points, 7 hours of content, and four different platforms. Like the aim of the game really is to be focusing heavily on how can I generate more trust with these people? Why would someone choose to opt in to working with you over working with someone else? It's not going to be a hook. It's not going to be a random post. It's going to be an accumulation of impressions that you make with that audience over time. So
Yeah, I think I've
especially,
been relying too much on the actual results. I think that's always what I've leaned into rather than my personality.
and that's the first place I'd start. So like when we're looking at breaking this one down, so I again, what I'll do is I will process this into a brand identity tab here, and I'll be like, right, I want you to have 1 day per month or 1 day per week, or even what I do now is I literally just take videos and pictures everywhere of what I am doing all the time. And then all I do from there is I have a brand identity. Oh, wrong one. I have a brand identity deck here where this has just got images of everything that I've done in my life, everything at any point. I'll then stack loads from what I've just done in New York now. I'll then add loads of like little BTS video clips into there. So when it comes to creating content, I'm not having to think, fucking hell, I need to suddenly jump onto a camera now and do a boring reel. I'm just going to go, well, right, I'm telling a story on X. What images have I got to use for a carousel? Or I'm going to do a reel with a voiceover. Sweet, I'm just going to dip into my BTS bank. So I think
Yeah.
that that's something that you can first start focusing on because yeah, like the natural starting point in here is going to be how we're generating online conversations, and we've also got another pain point down at the bottom here where it's avoiding doing outreach. Outreach is absolutely fucking wank when all you're doing is looking at surface level messaging. Whereas if you had a baseline KPI of going, well, if I've got 36, potentially nearly 40,000 followers coming through. And I've got better brand identity, more trust, more relatability, more connection with the content that I'm creating. When I do an organic lead magnet, I'm not going to get 20 opt-ins, I might get 120. And you increase your conversations from that type of perspective there. So like when you've got, I don't have a reliable way to get leads, what do you currently do right now to get leads?
It's literally just posting and hoping, but posting surface level stuff, isn't it?
So it's a starting point. So it's like, right, rather than thinking, fucking hell, I've got nobody to message today, having a mandatory requirement. So I've literally just got off a call with Boo. I'll show you his timeline. He's not planned anything onto it yet. And the first thing I was doing here is when we were planning a 2026 timeline, I was like, right, one, you need to be looking after yourself. So you need to be having all your weekends away planned and all your family stuff in green and all your personal challenges. And then from that point, as a basic requirement, mandatory every 2 weeks, what you're going to be doing as an organic opt-in.
Mm.
So I'm a much like it's very different. I've just had another call earlier, which was a client who had a lot of similar type of niche to you in all fairness, but men and women. He's got 7,000 connections on LinkedIn. So what we've done is we've got Prosp AI now doing automated outreach messages to 7,000 people. Do you do anything on LinkedIn?
I think I mentioned that somewhere on the form. I've literally only just put a profile together since I joined here because I knew my niche was changing and they're probably where I should be looking as well. So every day I'm trying to connect with at least like 20, 30 people on that and just build that up. But I'm not very versed on it in all honesty.
I'm going to be doing a bit. I'm going to be doing a training on Prosp AI. So one of the hardest things for LinkedIn is building connections,
Yeah.
building comments, building reach. So Prosp AI is fucking ridiculous. So you can get that set up so that will or you'll describe the type of person. It will automate all of your. It's not expensive either. You're talking like, I don't know, like 50 quid a month or something. It depends on what plan you've got, but that will automate sending a certain amount of connections out. It will do all of the comments and other people's posts for you, and it'll also automate drip feeding, outreach, and stuff on there. So you
Wow.
can basically your main focus is to be posting content onto it, and then just let Prosp AI take over from there. So I can link you up with, link Beth up and team with Ben, who can basically show you how to do that. But I am going to be doing a training for Prosp AI, but that's absolutely brilliant for that.
Sweet.
Mandatory bi-weekly organic lead magnets. So that's just going to basically be in a point of increasing outreach, but not in a perspective of just cold DMing people. If you've got 36, fucking hell, mate, if I had 36,000 followers, I'd probably be able to spend £2,000 a month less on ads a
Mm.
month because I'd just been maximizing that audience at all times. I'm going to put a top one on here, which is going to be brand identity, personal creatives.
So when we're talking about obviously the brand identity, the personal creatives, what kind of ratio would you do the personal aspect towards more the educational and kind of sale CTAs and stuff?
100% of it. 100% of the content that I put onto my personal Instagram is going to be focused on my brand identity, but then I'll layer on the pain points and the hooks and the problems of that one there. So
Ah,
that's how. So and again, I'm not saying I'm the best content creator out there, but I've got a multi seven figure business on 12,000 followers. And
mm,
a lot of the people that I work with are the same. Like, you can't rely on just having shitloads of followers. It's about having as much trust and relatability with them as humanly possible. So, like, for me, is I'd be going, right, onto your content at the moment is right, how can I create a lot more trust with my audience? And that's going to come from how we're shaping your identity in terms of trust and relatability. And then from that point, so like the next thing that I'll highlight onto there is when I land onto this page at the moment, what's not that does, yeah. So carbs are not the enemy. Um, and these ones here, I'd be thinking about how can I layer on a hook which is really applicable to a female that I'm targeting. Do you know what I mean? So you've got that real like when someone lands onto that, they're like this their ideal customer knows straight away like you're targeting them. So like one thing I'll do as well is add a tab onto here where I'll give you I don't know 120 different offer driven hooks. But the main thing is you don't have to. It's not about suddenly doing a mad creative for that because you can just use the identity of content that you can put there, and then all you do is you layer
mhm.
that onto there, so hooks into creatives, because that's all I do with mine now. I'll just have like carousels, which is personal brands. So do you see what I mean? So it's like a lot of the people that I work with are genuinely good people. Like I'm not looking to attract the crowd who just want to do abusive, high volume, outbound DM. Like people will come wanting a lot more depth. So all I've got is I've just got images and BTS of me in loads of different areas. And then all I do is I just I'll just like my own post outside in it. And then I'll basically just go on and I'll just layer stuff on top of it. Or like the
Mm.
recent one here. So this is just BTS from an event in different areas. But you know what I mean? It's just every single image that someone's clicking through, the storytelling on there and there's value. It's going to be targeting the pain point of what it is on that um, initial slide. But the main thing that people are looking for is like, am I actually relatable to this person?
So you kind of
That is
gluing the content together with your personal brand, aren't you?
Yeah. So all
Yeah.
we can do here is I'll process loads of different scenes and images that we can get. I'll then, using your offer, produce a lot more hyper-specific hooks and breakdowns on that type of niche consumer. Because when it comes to this, like, look, I can 100%, if we go into a LinkedIn strategy, we can set up having an AI doing outbound and outreach for you as an initial message. But it's always going to come back down to what are the impressions that I am actually making with my audience.
Mm.
Like how much do they actually even trust? Like does my audience actually even give a fuck about what I'm saying? Do they give a fuck about me? Because it doesn't matter how many messages you're sending out there if people haven't broke that line of actually wanting to be in a conversation with you. So I would have a huge focus on this element, and I think that with this offer, with the offer and with this niche, I can give you unlimited pieces of content on tap. You then got your shape and your brand identity. And as a baseline starting point, I'd just be looking at this: a dramatic improvement to content, bi-weekly organic lead magnets to increase opt-in biased follow-up. You've got LinkedIn strategy. If you had, well, 36,000 followers like we've just seen, I would 100% be doing a monthly live webinar concept. I'd say that 18, I think, well, I'd know this. I think it's like 18 to 20% of the sales that we get through on a month-to-month basis will always reference the fact that they have either been on my live training or they've watched the recording on it when I've sent it on ads.
Right.
Or always. So like you've got a monthly, and then on that one there, if you can get, and all you do is you can come through one time and you plan this into your timeline, your operator. So it's like, right, sweet, on 2026, when it comes to, I don't know, a Thursday of each month, you isolate all of that, and then you know as a non-negotiable whether you want to do it or don't want to do it, you're going to get people onto a live workshop. So I say openly, like I don't enjoy doing live webinars. I generally don't. It takes up a lot of time and it's a lot of effort, and you've got a cold audience on there sometimes as well because we run it on ads. But I do it because it's a mandatory commitment because I know that is going to benefit everything that we're doing. So even just as a first starting point is like, look, I don't have a reliable way to get leads. That's all I'd focus on. I wouldn't try and overcomplicate it. You've also got other things. So like how many active clients have you got at the moment with both of you combined who live in like a localized area?
As in, like, who's nearby me that
Yeah,
could,
who's not that far from you.
maybe 15, 20 max.
But there's nothing to say there where if we're looking at going back into that one here, so it's like how do we get to a position of having more trust? Every 12 weeks, you don't have something where you've got a little client community event where you could get into a room where you stood in front of 15, 20 women. Do you know what I mean? And then
Yeah,
that's going to be,
definitely been a bit lazy with the client events. I've been putting it off and putting it off. Always something more important to do. But last year I did push that a bit harder, and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. But I think again, I need to stop thinking that it has to be this big event where I'm paying for this and putting this together.
oh, do you
When
fuck now?
I can just get them in for a coffee, or we can go for a walk. Like I know I should be doing more of that.
I'd start by doing end of quarter. So like for Boo earlier, I was like, I want him to do one at the end of each quarter and then one at the start of each quarter. And then I'd just basically go, right, once you've got these four locked in, give people that. So like when I did obviously where is it, a 2026 events calendar for you guys. I just literally whacked it all onto a gamma. And what you've got to look at here is one of the other problems that we've got down at the bottom was basically looking at like retention and not retention, sorry, referrals. Yeah, it's there.
Hmm.
The best way that you're going to get referrals is going to be from getting people together,
Yeah.
100%. So like create a little bit of a gamma guide. So there's obviously we're doing shitloads, but all you do is put this together. And when you look at these different angles, like, oh, how do we keep clients for longer? If clients have got a monthly event that they can come to or a quarterly event that they can come to, like in reality, what's the likelihood and chances of them obviously going to be staying for longer because they're integrated into the community. And this is how I want people thinking. Like I could easily come onto here and go, right, sound. We have got 36,000 followers on there. I want us to do split testing, messaging, and I'll do this anyway for you, but I wouldn't recommend running it as a start point. But you could easily go 36,000 people there. Right, let's set up a system where you've got 150 to 200 custom outreach messages to the target niche within that followers list. And you'll 100% get a good response from some people. It might be really low because you're targeting just followers. But if you had community events in there. You had content which was relatable, workshops that people could opt into, bi-weekly lead magnets that people are coming in. You probably get, well, definitely going to get bigger rewards from doing that rather than just spamming your followers list for the sake of it. And also to turn around to someone like you and go, right, I want to set up a daily system of outreach to followers when you're currently avoiding it is suicide because you're not going to fucking do it.
Mm.
So it's just about looking at your business and going, right, because this is quite fun, right? That there can all be supported on AI. I'll be able to do that for you in a second. I can then process. So let's just say that you do two lead magnets per month, and that's going to be over 12 months. So that's going to be 24 lead magnets for for next year. I can do that for you in about 10 seconds. All you then do is process that into Claude, into Gamma, it really it done it's you start to get to a point where it's like fucking hell, this is actually quite easy to do, especially with AI on there. You've then also got 12 live workshops. So again, I can give you an overview for those live workshops to do after this. It'll take me literally seconds to
Yeah.
go and do. And then suddenly you get to this point of going like, oh, we ain't got that many leads to then suddenly how are we actually creating as many opportunities as possible.
Mm. Yeah.
And I don't disagree with the actual follower outreach system either. It's just the fact that I wouldn't rush into it straight away.
Well, that's all I've ever always done before I stopped doing it. And yeah, I
But
definitely need a new like dynamic.
yeah, and that's just about making sure you've got a good split test message. But again, if this was 12 to 18 months ago, I would probably the first thing I'd be saying to you is there's fucking 36,000 people on there. How are we outreaching to those people?
Mm.
But in 2025, with the KPIs and stuff that I've seen, is that's not going to be the first thing that I'm going to do because we need to get to a point of breaking down that trust barrier and connection and relatability with these people first because there are so many. Well, I've just fucking told you about one. You've got Prosp AI, which automates initial messages that you send out to people, but people have got AI bots on Instagram now pinging out 1,000 messages a day. Or you've got ManyChat, which is an automation for new followers coming in, and we wonder why people have stopped responding to fucking DMs.
Yeah.
It's like we've done it to ourselves. So it's like I'd rather have that coming in the latter to getting a lot more identity to this one here. Um, right, sales routine and structure. So you've got calls, decks, and applications, but no consistent flow of people. I'm going to put that in orange. The rationale for that is I'd be focusing on number one
Yeah.
because it's like right now we ain't got leads coming in, but we're not actually creating opportunities.
Yeah. My conversion's always been fairly decent. I've never had the problem getting people when people are on the calls. It's just the flow coming in, right?
So that's pretty simple. Right, avoiding outreach. So what is the current mindset block with doing outreach? Is it the fact that when you've done it before, it's like just doing the system that I spoke about before by retargeting and split testing messages at followers?
No, it was just the change in niche and change in program. I found myself in this kind of no man's land where it's like, what am I actually selling right now? Because I'm just about to launch a new program where it's going to be very different, different pricing points. I think it was a case of kind of hitting a brick wall with kind of leads coming in and general interest at this time of year for the demographic and niche I'm working with right
Oh
now.
yeah,
You know
mate.
what I mean? There's a lot of kind of moving parts. I just thought I might just rather than spamming people, let's get to the bottom of what I'm actually doing right now before I do.
Anyone who turns around to you and says like it's what 18th of December now, fucking hell. I as a career-driven woman, right? Most I'd say that a highly likelihood is they're gonna have kids. But as a career-driven woman, they'll have been planning all Christmas presents. They'll have been doing all that type of stuff. Like women, especially, will clock out, and then you've got a bloke who's probably been grafting his arse off all year. It is about being realistic. Like when people turn around, or I see it online where it's like, and it's not a time to take your foot off the gas. Like it's the
Of my
only,
fucking tits in there,
it's the
like.
only, it's the only time in the year to take the foot off the gas. Like I've got 4 days left until I break up now because I've obviously just come back from New York. But I were mentally clocking out probably 7 to 10 days ago. So
Mm.
like, all of this is good because it's like right now potentially from the 18th of December to the 1st of January, you need to have a fucking break. But if we know that we've got all of this to do. I've just been planning that. So like that's the first thing that obviously the workshop that we did the other day is like I don't give a fuck what people do in December other than they have a full year mapped out to the
Yeah, yeah,
fucking
yeah.
BAP nines. That's all I care about.
I'm more than happy to do that this stage for the next couple of weeks is to, I can even start on the brand identity going into my
Yeah,
social media
exactly.
and start and stuff like that. And we've just literally last night booked ourselves like a cabin in the middle of the woods in Snowdonia for Boxing Day. So we're spending 4 nights there, complete fucking, disengage from shit so that when we come back, we're ready to fucking hit it.
And when's the best time to be capturing content which is going to relate to fucking women? It's going to be over Christmas. You're going to spend in loads of time with family, loads of time with your kids, loads of time doing different stuff.
Yeah, even as we were talking, then I was thinking like, whilst we're at the cabin, fucking going out on our bikes, fucking walks, fucking cooking together, that's all content gold, and I just need to make sure I fucking get it.
Right, very clear. We're gonna go. Right, stick to the absolute basics. Right, and then avoiding an outreach conversation. Cast. When you feel like it's just the reason that I wouldn't suggest doing the high volume outreach as a starting point is just because I probably want like 2, 3, 4 weeks of this of a new
Yeah,
content coming
no,
through.
I've
Just so
just
it's like, do you know what I mean?
yeah, I've
It's
really
like
made that realization what you actually see there.
yeah, because like, do you know what I mean? A land as a woman, it's like it's just not it's not screaming trust at me straight away. Like obviously the results and all of that stuff will, but it's like how do I put myself in a situation where people are going to really, really, really actually value what I'm doing and value what I'm
Yeah,
like. So like this stuff here, like it's great, but like a woman will look at that and be like, oh well, that's just a guy in shape.
yeah,
Rather than, oh, fucking hell, this guy's in a relationship. Fuck me, this guy knows women. Fuck me, this guy knows kids. Fuck me, this guy knows how to manage a business while managing fucking kids and managing clients. Like,
yeah.
and
It's
then,
completely off brand, isn't it? When I'm looking
yeah,
at it now, it's just like fucking sun switches.
it's not off brand in any way, shape, or form, mate. It's off you. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
personal brand, that's not screaming exactly what I'm about at all.
And then once it's like you've got 2, 3, 4 weeks of those impressions, I'm like, yeah, fuck. Especially by the time it comes to end of January and February, game on. I'd be doing because I know that my audience then have at least probably seen or digested or interacted with 20 posts, which is a lot more trust and relatable because that's what it comes down to. Is like you can send out 1,000 messages a day, but if you send out 1,000 messages a day to an audience that doesn't actually give a fuck about you and doesn't trust you, you are going to be looking at a 1 to 3% response rate. If you send out 500 messages a day, but to an audience that is actually digested and trusted and related to you, you might be looking at a 30 to 40% response rate.
You could
So,
be doing
like,
like irreversible damage to that outreach, though, couldn't you? If the
oh, yeah,
landing
100%.
page and it's not what they want to see,
Mate,
that's done.
biggest I think it's common sense, but like I've had it recently where people are coming from external places, and it's like they've been told to spend 30 to 35% of the revenue on top of funnel ad boosts. No ad account set up, no funnels, no anything, just boosting posts. And I'm like, how is that a business strategy? How is spending all of your profits to boost fucking ads and sending well, it's like right, we're not getting a response. Right, go from 300 outbound messages to 600. How is that going to equal a better KPI? And I think that once you've got that element in, then yeah, you can start looking at a bit of a strategy on 36,000 people, fucking 100%. But if we've got 36,000 people who are starting to be nurtured a lot better on a day-to-day basis, your inbound opportunities are going to increase, your stories, your polls, your Q&A boxes. You've then also got the amount of people who will opt in for a natural follow-up. So that's why if I look at my acquisition process now, we do a lead magnet every 2 weeks. We do a live workshop. We also then run as live workshops on middle of funnel on ads. And then that's all I do. And obviously, I have 5 emails going out per week. These consultations, which goes out onto YouTube each week. And that's what I found because I've done all of that. I've
Mm.
done the 500 to 1,000 outreach messages a day, and I've done it, and I've tested it all. I've done cold outbound dialing, cold email systems. You wouldn't believe what I've tried and tested. But I'm like, how much damage is this actually causing? Is this, yeah, it might get a few more people through in the short term, but how many people just think I'm a fucking cunt because I've spammed so much volume at them?
Yeah.
Rather than getting, right, let's get people into my ecosystem and get them to obviously trust me a lot more. And that's why I focus on that one there. So if we just start with the basics of that top three, and again, I'll be able to support all of this on the follow up anyway. So I'll do like brand identity. This is what I want to see based on the niche. These are the hooks and the creatives and stuff that I want to see.
Yeah.
Here are 24 lead magnet examples that you can use on a bi-weekly basis to target that niche. And here are 12 workshop live concepts. That's going to 4x and 5x your monthly opportunities as a baseline starting point.
Yeah.
And then it's like, even from that point, people go, right, well, what's next? I'd be like, right, well, how many emails have you got in your database at the moment?
About 2,200.
Right. Once you're in a situation where you've got two opt-ins per month into a lead magnet alongside a live workshop, that's probably going to go from 2,000 to 5,000 pretty fucking quickly. And then my next question is like, how many emails do you send out per week?
So at the minute, it was very sparse, but I know Beth has set up like the 10 evergreen like message for people opting in for lead magnets. We've just literally yesterday finished the quiz assessment, the habit assessment one through Score app. That's ready to go now. Um, so I'm gonna have that probably pinned on my page for a bit.
Yep. So the next thing I'd be looking at is right, rather than how do we avoid the follower retargeting? So well, I've got 2,000 people there. I'm doing two lead magnets and a live workshop per month, which is going to increase potentially by 400 to 500 bits of data. Before even looking at that, I'd be going, right, I'm going to start doing a daily email every single day. And you can do that in seconds on Claude now, literally in seconds. So it's like, and because all we're trying to do is compound more of those impressions. How can I be in people's faces every single day, saying the right shit and talking about the right stuff? Because that's going to increase your opportunities. And then next thing from there, I'd be like, right, well, what am I not doing externally? So am I doing a weekly YouTube episode? Like, that's the type of stuff I'd look at because before I get to a point of doing high volume outreach, it's like, how much content and trust are people digesting from me? And I'd start layering on other different things from there.
So ideally, even if I lead it right up to the end of January, just really focusing on the kind of what they see as me, and then start kind of pushing the outreach from there, really.
I would be doing it. So this immediate next year, immediate next year. And I'd be going, do you do anything on YouTube currently?
I literally started a vlog about 6 months ago, and I was doing a weekly vlog, and I've been a bit lazy with it since the summer holidays, really. But I said to myself, I'm going to upload every Sunday from now on because I was doing it. Like I thought, fucking hell, this is boring because I was watching other people's vlogs, thinking, but me and my missus are sat watching someone else just bumble around all day. And then when we started putting my vlog out of just me and my missus pissing around, going about our daily life, people are like, I fucking love it.
Yeah, exactly. And
And we
the
quite
thing,
enjoyed doing it. We actually used to watch
yeah.
it back. This is how fucking sad we are and how little our social life was going. We used to sit and watch back our own vlog and just laugh our fucking tits off because it shows how weird we are and like just like the interaction between each other and the banter we have. It's yeah, I just need to get back on that. I do actually enjoy doing it. I don't enjoy editing it and all that bullshit, but apart from that, it's good
You
fun.
can get something like you can get that sorted quite easily though. But it's like the raw. So it's like these videos here. I'm doing no edits on these. It's like just straight through it. That's
Yeah,
all
to be
put
fair,
out there.
I'm not editing it much at all. To
No.
be fair, I did start to, and I was like, this is going to take forever. And actually, a bit of dead time in the vlog. People are still watching it because they're wondering what the fuck's going on.
So I'd have weekly time focusing on asset creation. I'd be having weekly time focusing on video log because it's all right turning around and me going right this and this and this and this is what I explain to people is like AI solves all of this.
Yeah.
I'd never be turning around to someone and saying do all of this type of stuff, but it's like there's not a single thing that we've been spoke about today, which AI can build your lead magnets for you down to all of the copywriting, and Gamma can process it for you. AI can do all of your emails for you. AI can even give you video log scripts. Like all I'll be doing here is using AI to compound information to give all of this structure.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean by it's like, let's just get more impressions and more stuff coming through and creating more opportunities. And then, like, look, when it comes to the outreach, so if we basically had follower outreach, I'd be looking at that coming in from Feb.
Hmm.
I hate it when it goes over there. Putting that in from February.
Yeah.
And then it's like, right, once we've got all of this natural stuff running, the next thing I'll be doing from there is like, right, so if we're in a situation by maybe March, then that's when you can start looking at top of funnel boosts.
Mm.
But it's for the time being, it's like, why would I turn around to anyone in your situation right now and be like, right, yeah, 100%, what I need you to do right now is starting to spend more money on fucking ads. I just want because we're not even coming close to maximizing an organic audience.
Like sending a dick pic and not allowing
Yeah,
you
yeah.
to get a semi on in it.
I just wouldn't. I just because I'm like, look, if we can create more opportunities just by an adjustment to content, if we can create more opportunities with a bi-weekly mandatory lead magnet,
Mm.
weekly live workshop, YouTube in as normal, we've then got double the amount of impressions that hitting an audience with both content and emails. Then yeah, sweet. We're doing all of these opportunities. Let's get a little bit more direct approach with it. And then when it comes to March, it's like, right, I want to take that next step up. It's like, right, sweet. We'll start testing and trialing creatives for top of funnel followers coming in. Or like I spoke to community about of days, I'm bringing in um, a paid ad off bolt-on offer. Like most of the time, people charge like a grand and a half a month for an ad account management. And I've spoke to the two lads who do mine and said, you come to me with an offer where someone can manage an ad account for 500 quid a month, then I'm willing to roll it out to clients. But it's like that could be the next thing from there in March. But I wouldn't even turn around and say, yeah, you 100% need to start ads. Because I'd rather just fucking not spend any money and spend any profits and just maximize the 36K audience that you've currently got
Yeah,
there.
there's definitely enough hanging fruit for fucking.
I just wouldn't do it. The
Yeah.
only time I start hitting ads with people is when it's like, right, have we got content and impressions and trust is locked down? YouTube's yeah, podcasts, yeah. Like, have you got all of this running? Because that is the stuff that people are digesting, and that is the reason why someone is even going to actually reply to your message in the fucking first place.
Mm.
Because that's all, that is the single only reason. Like, look, you can send any message out to anyone on any platform. The reason that they're going to respond is because they've got, I like this person's shit. That's what it's going to come down to. It's not going to be, oh, I really love this message they've sent to me. I don't have a clue who this person is, but I really love this message. It's not going to come back down to that. It's going to come back down to, have I seen this person's stuff before? Have they spoke about shit that I actually care about? And are they actually even interested enough to get a response?
Hmm.
So then we
Yeah,
can build on from that on there.
perfect.
Then the spending too much time supporting clients reactively. So what do you currently have a system for how clients check in? So like the first question that I have for client check-in process is, do you do all of your check-ins on a set day or do you split it across a week?
So at the minute, with the amount of clients I've got, I can manage it in one day. So basically, well, what happens is they check in on a Sunday now, and then I get back to them on a Monday. But usually, if I've got a bit of free time Sunday, I'll try and knock a few out as they're coming in, just so Monday's not as fucking hectic.
Right.
Um,
That's
yeah,
all right based on volume, but that's not going to be scalable if you double and triple the amount of clients.
yeah.
And also, like, what I would, if you're, when you do all your check-ins on a Monday, you'll then have all your follow-up messages on WhatsApp coming in at once on a Tuesday. And it's like, before you know it, you're fucked because you've had to go through all your check-ins on a Monday. You end doing WhatsApps. Like, I'm a big believer in looking at like a weekly split. So if I look at someone like Ben Bray, like this is one of the best things that we did for him is like, right, if you've got 20 clients, then you need to split that between 4 check-ins per day. If you've got 40 clients, then you split it across there. So looking at like an equal distribution. And how do you give clients like a check-in time that they have to go to?
So I do ask them to try and get the check-in done before 10 in the morning because I know putting the measurements and weighting is going to be a bit more accurate for making trying to do it first thing.
Right. I would be turning around and giving people a 9 a.m. check-in deadline and then looking at basically equally distributing the amount of people that you've got across the week. Because what that means is you can more often than not have your online check-ins done before, like you say 9 a.m., but most people will do it before work. But you can potentially have your online check-in work done by 9 or 10 o'clock each morning. And also, like, just as a thing is, when you've got kids and a family, fuck doing check-ins on a Sunday.
Mm.
Like fuck that. That's also not nice either. Like I would absolutely hate it if I had all of my one-to-one clients or all of you guys checking in with me on a Sunday because it'd give me anxiety of getting back to it on a day that I should be resting.
Mm.
And if you just basically say like say if you've got 20 clients or whatever it is, you split them equally, it's like you've got that repetition and it means that for the rest of the day, your WhatsApp messages aren't going to come through all at once. You can then turn around and be like, look, you'll have it on your Google Calendar. So even like little stuff where the amount of people I speak to, I'll add this sheet on for you. The amount of people that I speak to where I have to plan out their timetable. So it's like if you kind of come into here and it's like, right, you know that your online check-in responses are going to be blocked out there in red, then what you can do from there is that, right, so from 10 to 11 each morning, you've got an hour, which is going to be also blocked out for WhatsApp messages. And then you can have potentially 3 to 4 where you're looking at blocking out WhatsApp messages. And then all of this time here can be designed on everything else.
Mm.
So like just little stuff like right, sweet. So on Monday, 2 hours there, that's when I'm going to do my YouTube. Or when it comes to Wednesday, that's when I'm going to do my daily emails. Or that might be content. And that personal management system is so important because if this is not on lockdown, none of this is going to be able to be done properly.
So where was that
I'll give you access to that. I've got it
yeah.
in my one-to-one thing. So uh, I'll add that onto there. But planning that out, because all I do here is I just every my entire life is replicated on Google Calendar.
Mm.
So once you've got your daily time block system it's just about right, what am I not doing versus what do I need to do? And now we know we've got all of this shit that we need to do. Have I got time every single week to be able to do it?
Yeah.
And you just simply stick to it as simple as that. So time block system for new commitments. Referral system. So what do you currently have in terms of referrals, testimonials? Is literally just nothing.
I'm sure that when people sign into the program, there is a back end email that goes out maybe I think 5 or 6 weeks in, sent from the CRM system asking for a referral and offering a referral kind of financial kickback. I can't remember exactly how that's put together. I do need to check with George at STS.
Right. What I would personally be doing is looking at kind of what we do. So like I believe that when it comes to your referrals and testimonials and stuff on that side, you need to have it integrated into a system. So we basically have our end of month feedback form, and the end of month feedback form like hits 3 or 4 birds with one stone because it's like one, I'm tracking all my data that Beth and Rob pull through onto a sheet. I've got then the ability where people can submit feedback for me, and I obviously do the one-to-one follow-up with everyone, so it's an extra touch point and check in with me. But then on that form, I have it as simple as like, look, are you in a situation where you're happy to leave feedback? Someone clicks yes, sweet. It's as simple as sending them a video ask link or a case study. Referrals in general are tough. Like I don't really do too much push on that because it's more about how good my offer is and how well people are speaking. And what I basically find most is all of our referrals will normally come from like the amount of messages I get off the back of doing an event. Or like, for example, on the Christmas event the other day, is like people have messaged me and it's like a bit of an indirect referral. It's like, oh, I've seen X was there, or I've seen that they were the event. It's never like it's tough. It's tough looking at direct referrals. It really is, unless you've got something where it's like an influencer or a celebrity who's in a situation where they're endorsed to obviously kind of do that with you.
Mm,
But I think just looking at integrating an end of month feedback form, or you've got like a bit of a case study structure to that, then you're gonna be onto an absolute winner.
right. Okay.
And because that means that you can obviously do an assessment based on what people are doing, but then at the same time is like you can have like oh, are you in a situation where you're happy to leave us some feedback, and you've got that as a natural process to
Maybe
be
just
built
put
into.
a type form together with a link to video ask.
Yeah,
And
something
that.
something as simple as that.
Right.
Um, duh, 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 duh. KPIs and numbers. Obviously, you were at the event, so you know the importance of that and tracking sheet on there. I'm not going to do we've got this sheet which we can come back to, and I'll do some more notes on this, especially get for giving to the team.
Yeah.
But I honestly think by what I've just added on to here alone and
Yeah.
getting a full fucking plan of attack for 2026 with content, mandatory non-negotiables for lead magnets and workshops, and your daily system, that's going to start putting you in the right type of spot for me to then turn around and add double the amount of stuff onto it. Because like the offer element, well, you know how deep I go in on an offer.
Mm,
That's a completely different kettle of fish altogether. But it's like for me, I wouldn't be looking at going all in on developing my offer when we know there's some obvious gaps on the front end with content, front end opportunities, opt-in biased opportunities and concepts there. I'd rather have time and effort going into acquisition and sales than how do I create a better offer than every single person out there, because that's something that is going to take a substantial amount of time.
yeah. These holes need plugging first, don't they, before
Yeah.
we start getting out there. Right. Okay.
And
Yeah.
doing too many jobs yourself as well. In reality, that's going to come down to being in a situation where you've got the right type of money coming through to then
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
potentially look at obviously stuff on there. Um, and I think that building a lot in the background but having it activated, that's going to come back down to this daily time block system. That's all that timetable is how am I going to make sure that I execute the shit that I need to do in my business every single week and not miss?
Yeah.
Like this year, it's the most basic. Like I have people coming on calls doing over 100 grand a month, and that first thing I come back to them is like they're stressed, they're overwhelmed, they're fatigued, they're tired, they're not sticking to stuff, or they're thinking they need to go and hire people on thousands per month. And I'm like, with AI now and having your own shit on lockdown, there's no reason to be suddenly rushing at hiring loads of different people. Like you can do so much yourself by just being simply more organized. So I'll add that time block,
Yeah. Good.
that document into that one there, bro. But yeah, if you leave this one with me,
Yeah.
once I've finished, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to process loads of stuff on brand identity, loads of stuff on the hooks and creative elements, so we can look at really talking to people on that initial visual thing there, like that we need to be hitting key pain points on that hook there, which is talking to this dream person, just for the views on the video, but also just from the overview from content.
Yeah.
I'll then produce 24 lead magnets for ideas for next year for bi-weekly non-negotiables. I'll then produce 12 live workshop concepts, which is looking at that one there. Give you access to that and then build on stuff from there, because that there is a substantial amount of work just in itself.
Perfect. Yeah. Buzzing.
Nice one, bro. Right. I don't even, where's my
Nice.
screen gone? Right, sweet. Right, leave all this with me, mate.
Yeah.
You're gonna have one big ass task list to do.
Yeah. Ready for it,
Eh,
mate.
and like I said, obviously you'll have done it anyway, but make sure you put a lot of time and effort into that, the goal setting, reflection, vision, especially the stuff where you sit down with you and your missus and you're planning what next year wants to look like, doing stuff for yourself, because that's what this always comes back down to. Like you can stack your diary with professional commitments left, right, and center, but if you ain't got that personal stuff in your diary, like people's fulfillment and stuff will drop off real quick.
Yeah. Absolutely. Right. Cheers, Ben. Appreciate it,
Right,
mate.
catch you a bit, pal.
All right.
See you in
Speak to
a
you
bit.
soon, buddy. Take care.